Moving on to Wall and Beyond. Matt, would you like to do the recap?
Yeah.
For the Night's Watch?
The Night's Watch began in the aftermath of the Long Night and the near destruction of humanity, at least in Westeros. The Night's Watch has dwindled from its original glory, and in current days, only 3 of the 19 castles along its length is garrisoned. It is now only a tenth of the size it was 300 years ago at the time of Aegon's conquest. Commanders are chosen by a voting process where every member of the Watch has an equal vote. The Lords of the North are some of the few in the Westeros who still hold the Watch in high regard and are primarily responsible for its continued survival as they send both men and supplies to the Wall. Yep.
Really savored it, huh?
Yeah.
Every word.
So would anyone like to recite all the castles on the wall and get a candy out of it if you get them all correct?
I think we should all read them together.
Is there
like a nice mnemonic memory for it, or no?
No,
There
not really.
probably is.
So we do it like west to east, or
Yeah, west to east.
So like in what order? Like the order on the dock at the bottom?
I would just take the picture.
But like, how do we do it? Like, so we don't talk over each other. This is too hard.
Oh yeah.
I really wanted us all to say it at the same time.
Yeah,
Wanna
we're
just
gonna
try
talk
it?
over each other.
Oh, okay.
Somebody count it down.
All right, we'll just go across the whole thing. Ready?
Hmm.
3, 2, 1.
West
West
by the bridge.
By the
The
bridge.
shadow
The
tower.
Shadow
Tower.
Sentinel
Sentinel
stand.
Stand.
Great.
Guard.
Stone
Stone
door.
Door.
Hoarfrost
Hill.
Ice
Mark.
The
Night
Night
Fort.
Fort. Deep
Deep
Lake.
Deep
Lake.
Lake.
Queen's
Queensgate.
Castle
Castle
Black.
Castle
Black.
Black.
Oaken Shield.
Oaken Shield.
Woods Watch by the Pool.
Watch.
Sable Hall.
Oh,
Rhyme Gate.
I'm Gate.
Long
The Long
The
Arrow.
Long Marrow. The
Torches.
Yes.
The
Green
Green
Guard.
Guard.
Green God.
And
Eastwatch
Eastwatch by the Sea.
Oh my
Very
God.
good.
Very good.
You guys,
Now-
there's this thing like on Passover where we say all of the 10 plagues and you like dip your finger in your cup of wine and pour out wine and you all say it together, at least in my family, and it sounded exactly like that. Like, is that like not entirely certain that that's when we're on? Okay, yes, continuing to go on, confident for about 2 things, and then just it falls apart.
Well, we made it. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Well, hi,
Leave some
Excellent.
for the angel Elijah. Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of sounds like a children's
Prophet,
program.
whatever. That scared the shit out of me the first time that happened. I was like, I saw it go down. I saw it go down.
Like, I guess one of these Oaken Shield is probably a reference to Thorin Oakenshield, but I don't know about the other ones.
It
But
has to be, right? Yeah.
they're all
I
pretty
mean,
cool
that'd
names.
be bringing about elves, right?
What?
If it
You're
was
drunk.
Thorn Oakenshield?
Yes. It was a dwarf who had a beard.
And he was not an elf.
He's definitely not an elf. Well, that and Stone Door might be also be a Tolkien reference.
Oh, to the doors of
Moria.
Moria. Moria. How did I fucking not remember Moria? Jesus.
That were made of stone.
Suck.
Speak, friend, and enter.
Probably
Yeah,
because
man.
the elves help.
I was wondering why the Shadow Tower is the most westernmost that's garrisoned, because Westwatch is beyond it. But do you guys think that's maybe because the Bridge of Skulls like looks down on it, or it might have just been a ruin and it wasn't manageable? But it's not actually the most westward of the castles on the wall.
Well, I
Just
guess all
looking
the
at the-
skulls might be kind of a downer, so they don't want to look at the skulls.
Hmm.
Just looking at the drawing, I think the Shadow Tower is probably just bigger and nicer.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
I think they made a
identical to
decision
the
to
Eastwatch
keep
by
it
the
big
sea,
and
so
nice.
yeah, and I just think that that's an illustration to illustrate that it's still in use,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Castle Black is just a giant, like, St. Peter's Cathedral-looking thing.
which
as it
is
in the
not
picture there.
real either.
I know these are all like in real life much farther apart, but they look like they're really close together in this image. Like you walk like for a day and then you come out to the next tower.
Yeah,
They
well,
just
you
yell at each other from tower to tower.
Right.
What's up?
Send a string and like some cans.
yeah, isn't the wall like 200 leagues in length.
I thought it was 300 miles.
No, I think it's 200 leagues. I think it's longer
Leagues
than.
is made up and it.
But it like took Sam and Gilly like a couple of days. They were walking from the Night Fort to Castle Black, and I think what's the guy's name? Something Mallister, Dennis, fucking Dennis. He sort of like picked them up along the way. So, but it still took them a couple of days, I think. So. Yeah.
And we know there was there was at least a skirmish, like a diversionary battle at the Bridge of Skulls when Mance was invading. But I was like, if you're not using the Bridge of Skulls to go north, I think they would just like destroy it so the wildlings can't get across. Like, it seems like it's more of a liability to keep it there.
But then it's not a Bridge of Skulls, and then it's not cool, right?
It's the Fallen Bridge of Skulls.
Well, if it's continuously guarded, it's like this passive Thermopylae. Like it's this narrow corridor you can channel your enemy to.
How'd that work out for the Brave 300?
Well, they had good abs, I know that.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I don't picture Lord Pomegranate defending the passes as well as Leonidas did, but
I'm not the only one who's thinking of the Bridge of Skulls as like a natural rock formation type thing, right?
No, I think it's the same thing. But
okay,
yeah,
so I'm wondering
if
the Watch might not have the capability to destroy it.
Yeah, they don't have gunpowder or anything.
I guess over time you could destroy almost anything.
You can't just knock a bridge down with an axe.
But if it's a stone bridge, if it's like from rock,
no, I wasn't.
You could chisel it out, like just break it through.
Sucks to be a builder.
Yeah.
Okay, so take this pick and go to the Bridge of Skulls and hack away at it until you die. That's your job from now on.
Well, that's the life of a builder anyway, basically just hacking away at stuff until you die.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a builder, not destroy.
I was an artist.
Sure, they cut off both my hands, but whatever.
The fact that the Northern Lords sort of subsidize the Night's Watch, keep it functioning, part of the food that keeps. So without their like patronage, perhaps the Night's Watch would have like collapsed a long time ago.
Probably, yeah.
Well, they say that when they gave up, the North was they didn't want to have to give up the new gift, but they kind of were forced to. And their major argument against it was that the Night's Watch isn't going to take care of it; they're going to let it go to crap, and that's exactly what happened because there's like no one lives there anymore. It's just Molestown now. So they're not particularly good at supplying for themselves. And we know they trade and they have guys who go throughout the kingdom paying for stuff, but yeah, you'd think that they would have taken better care of their land that kept them alive.
But yeah, but you don't have like Night's Watch peasants. That's not the fourth thing you can become.
Yeah.
So
they don't have any vassals.
Would peasants go under stewards or builders?
I would think. Well, I mean, I think I remember reading somewhere where the Watch would actually, farm the gift. So I would say probably they did sort of have that, steward. Then I would say stewards is my guess.
John was planning to have some like greenhouses to buy some like is Myris glass or is it Lysini glass? One of the free cities, like buy some glass from there and start farming.
Here does the glass, I think.
Here.
The lenses. Yeah.
Well, that's the best glass at least, but might not be from there.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it would seem kind of weird to have a black brother doing the yard work.
Well, maybe it's just the lost fourth thing you become once you become a peasant.
Well, we could be a steward of the land, sort of like so.
Like a farmer.
Yeah. I guess that's what they call it when you grow shit and pick it up.
Grow shit
We do not know that because we do not sow.
They are like ridiculously unself-sufficient, though.
Yeah.
But I think that's more like that's a relatively new thing. Like for thousands of years, the realm did support them, so they didn't need to be.
But wasn't it like thousands of years ago? They had a lot of like petty wars of like land wars, and they used to all the Andal kings and shit like that. They used to send like their losers to the wall. So there was a lot of more influx of new blood to the wall. And now when the realm is relatively stable, they don't really get that much people anymore. And I guess like if you got like a brother at the wall or something like that, like your uncle, you're gonna send like some fucking chickens or something. So he's gonna get something to eat. But if you don't know anybody up there, you're not gonna send any gifts, like a care package or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd send my uncle some fucking chickens if he was at the wall.
And then they'll have more chickens.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk about the attempts of the Kings Beyond the Wall to march on Westeros, and I think they name at least 4. So this is not something that happens too often. We know that the most recent one, the last one, was Raymond Redbeard, which was like 75 years ago. But I guess the major one was Jorman, who had his horn that he claimed he could bring down the wall and wake the giants or the sleepers in the earth, as he says. Anything to say about the Kings Beyond the Wall or any of that stuff?
Well, what about the Horned Lord? What do you guys think his deal was? Did he actually have horns, or did he have a helmet with some cool antlers like the Baratheons, or what kind of a dude was he?
Probably didn't actually have horns.
Maybe
Come
he was
on,
Jewish.
Which order do you guys
Beyond
think you
the-
would be placed in? Like, would you be a ranger, a steward, or a builder?
Steward.
Stuart.
What do you imagine you would
Yeah.
be doing?
Steward.
I mean, I suppose
Screw you guys, I hate danger.
since we can all read, we might be put under that, like just on that account.
Yeah. But yeah, if you are any of us very book-like, or maybe we are because we read.
Well,
I don't resemble a book physically, but I do like books.
Bookish. I'm sorry. Bookish. That's one of my. That's because the Danish word is actually for bookish. It's actually book-like, means book-like. So I just translate directly.
that is no excuse. You have failed.
Sorry. Okay. Well, any of you. Could we be defined as bookish? Then maybe we could be.
Yes, we are all enormous nerds. That's why we're here.
No, I think that's like I loved getting Sam's view into the Night's Watch because like when you're first introduced to him, like I was like, this is just going to be awful for him, and I was so like happy that he kind of carved out his place and got to work in the library and worked with Maester Aemon and because I think like that's probably what I would have wanted to do. Like I would not have wanted to go north with Lord Commander Mormont. You know, he just did not. He was not happy, but you know he sucked it up. But yeah, I definitely would.
But I imagine if there's like only 3 castles and presumably only 3 maesters, there's not a lot of those spots left, like library keeper or librarian at the wall. Like most stewards are probably just like making food,
Yeah, like
carrying
Bowen
messages
Marsh
and
has got a
emptying,
lot of people under him probably, you know, who help him with the tallying and the
emptying chamber pots and
I
shit
don't
like
want to do
that.
the chamber pot stuff. You can do that.
Maybe not.
I'm
Yeah, but
pretty
like
sure you wouldn't be a steward, Peter. You'd be out there ranging.
punching bears and shit. Yeah. But like being a builder doesn't sound that cool either. I mean, being up on top of the wall and just like hacking away at ice and.
Yeah, I can't imagine the builder life expectancy. It's like sappers, you know, going in to defuse mines. I can't imagine that's you know, unless you're particularly into like architecture or heights.
If you're really into heights.
Yep. And you love
That's starting to sound like
use
a
a
Navy
sigh.
recruiting.
Yeah, you gotta get some
Commercial.
Night's Watch PSAs or advertisements.
Yeah.
An exciting new career.
We'll pay for your college education after you get out of the Night's Watch, which is never.
Don't think of it as a lifelong investment. Think of it as a lifelong opportunity.
So I know there was some talk when we spoke about the Ironborn, how the Kingsmoot is basically like the most democratic election or choosing process. But I think that the way that the Night's Watch choose a Lord Commander is actually the most democratic it possibly can be, right? Where every single person has an equal vote, which I find refreshing.
Yeah, and
Maybe,
there
but-
seems to be less murdering.
Yes.
That we
But
know.
there's
of.
less
Sometimes.
loot too. There's no cool horns or any gold or anything like that. So
You get a room to yourself in a tower, and someone to take your chamber pot out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like they say that politics are most vicious where the stakes are lowest.
like in
Where?
prison or something like that. Like,
Well, I heard that said about like academia, like professors
Hmm?
fighting each other.
Well, okay. Oh, they
That's the
they can't
famous
they
saying.
can't they can't be pretty vicious against each other, but not like not they don't like cut
don't
each other's
shank
throats.
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's all talking behind your back and petty stuff.
Actually, this is the way the American education system works. Professors
Yep.
just kill each
Shanking.
other
Yeah,
I just want
for
that tenure.
tenure.
standing up on top of a pile of bodies, roaring
Sounds
out.
about right. So are your professors Wookiees now?
No, they're
That's what I
sand
was
people.
just thinking.
They're sand people.
Oh fuck, I would love to have a Wookiee as a professor. In fact, I would love to be a Wookiee.
Well,
See, Peter, I've got a whole page filled out of all your wonderful lines, and I'm going on to page 2, so this is too much for one recording. It's all going to be
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
I would love to be a Wookiee. That's great.
Well, one thing that might hold me back would be the Wookiee ladies. I'm not super into that, but I might.
They're often
Might find
mistaken for
something else.
Wookiee men.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting that the only Lord Commander that we know of that tried to pass it off to his son was a Hightower, because the Hightowers are dicks, and that's completely something a Hightower would do.
It is.
Yep.
So, nice try, but nope.
But they've got a cool sword, though. Vigilance.
Yeah, but none of them can even pick it up, so.
What do you mean? It's
I don't
not
know. I'm making
fucking
stuff up 'cause I
Excalibur.
don't like them.
Because Alicent, okay? Because Alicent.
Yes. Ha.
Yeah, and Jorah's wife was kind of a bitch too. Yeah, they're not cool people.
And
Hey,
maybe it's
she
just
was Lord to Bear Island under false pretenses.
maybe
Well, if you don't like a
Oh,
place
so you
called Bear
defend the
Island,
Hightower ladies, but it's the Hightower men that are all dicks.
No, it's just that one.
Okay.
maybe it's because the Hightowers all dicks, and dicks don't have any hands, so they can't pick them up.
And their sigil is a big dick, so yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
it's
Big
a big
flaming
dick
dick.
on fire.
Big flaming dick.
This is an intellectual discussion about a
Well, we left that a long time ago.
book about swords and dragons. Well,
It's literally 5 a.m. for me, so yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah,
that my
You're allowed to be punchy. It's okay. I mean, this is another section that we just don't get much brand new information, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
is there any mention of the Annals of the Black Centaur?
Mad
Who that?
I don't know, some guy that fucking killed a bunch of brothers and then they follow him around.
He's like one of the scary cautionary tales, right?
Yeah.
The Night Fort.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, his thing was that he snuck around murdering his brothers without wearing his boots, so they couldn't hear him coming. Which sounds kind of simple. That's what it says.
but nobody thought about it for that. Do that.
The 79.
Well, it's cold up there.
I kind of imagine like The Shining with the axe and the snow and the ice, and I don't know.
And barefoot now.
There's Mad Axe.
One thing I do think about like nowadays and like talking about how nobody like they haven't really like killed each other for like Lord Commander. The Night's Watch has now killed like 2 and maybe 3. How did Mormont's predecessor die?
He was a Dornish guy, something Gorgoyle.
Gargoyle, probably old age. I don't know.
So yeah, I just think that's like a really bad precedent for them to be setting. 2 Knights Commanders in a row murdered by their own men.
Yeah, you should tell them that.
Yeah, I mean I keep
Guys,
trying,
stop
but they
killing
won't
your
pick up the
leaders,
phone.
guys.
Not cool.
So moving on to the last section of this incredibly long but fun podcast.
The Wildlings. The Wildlings name themselves the Free Folk. They have no lords or kings or even priests. They worship the old gods and band together in small clans and groups that live in villages, hamlets throughout the lands beyond the wall. The only place that could be called a town is Hardhome, north of Eastwatch, in a deep harbor on Storald's Point. Over the years, the Wildlings have been united by a king beyond the wall who has let his host to attack the wall. They have never been successful. The last attempt was in 213 AC by Raymond Redbeard, who was defeated by the combined strength of the Starks and the Umbers, and not by the men of the Night's Watch.
Yeah, I was glad we got another little snippet about Hardhome and the story of Master Willis and all that. And
Definitely.
I hope he went back there and lived a happy life before it got obliterated by whatever the fuck.
I really like that. Was one of my favorite little, just how he was looking for a ship to take him back there. Like I thought it was pretty bittersweet, and he went native and he thought it was better than the life he was living at the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
Dances with wolves, man.
Dances with Hardhomes.
Dances with
Dances with
wildlings.
fens.
Dances with Warg.
Yeah, I think I would like to be a wildling as well as a Wookiee. Like, hang out with giants and be all hairy and shit and like shoot deer and eat deer and fish and look at snow and build igloos. And
How is that different from your life?
That's what you do, right?
that is exactly what I do day by day.
I agree with Peter.
You know what Dances with Wargs would be? It would be a really nice title for a fan fiction.
Yeah, but wouldn't the wargs just be like laying there with their eyeballs all white and shit? Like,
Yeah, but then there's some girl who's completely into them and wants to, or something. I don't know.
I think you've got the basic idea. You could spin something out of this.
Yeah,
Dances
ask
with
confident
Wargs
in
is
that.
just dancing with people.
Well, I don't know. People walking into other people, having sex with them.
It's not
It
warging
would
unless
be-
it's a wolf.
Wargs is
Chilling
only
Peter.
wolves.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to find something that could be sexy and not bestiality.
Well, Bran's gonna do that, so
Yeah.
mark my
Yeah,
words.
he
So you're gonna
probably
say
is.
he's gonna have sex with Mira through Hodor?
He's gonna try, and it's not gonna end well. I'm telling
No,
you.
Because Hodo has a giant penis.
No, because Mira's gonna be like, what the fuck?
But I
Mira's
love
gonna-
you.
Oh, I have a giant Hodo
No.
on right now. I don't know.
Yeah, Miraga's gonna cut the hell out of Hodor if that
No,
happens.
I actually think Bran's gonna end up killing Mira as Hodor when that happens. I know. That's gonna be
Wow.
That's
I don't know.
That's kind of
Wait, with his dick?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's book canon. I mean,
Sure it is.
Actually, I think it is.
is there like an Osha cast an appreciative glance at Hodor's glistening manhood or something like that?
I think that's literally it.
I believe the exact line was, well, he's got giant's blood in him.
I think it was flopping manhood though, not glistening though.
Things
Are
could
we
be
done
more than
discussing
one
the
thing.
flopping or the glistening manhoods? Can we proceed?
Let me pull up some
And-
documents.
Read those
Pendulous
cats.
spells.
All right. So the wildlings, obviously not that bad. They're just people, you know. One of my favorite lines that Ygritte has, which I honestly don't remember if it was from the books, but it was in the show, that they were just on the wrong side of the wall when it went up, which does make me, humanize them a little bit more and make you realize they are just people.
Nah,
Wildlings
nah, I
is
don't
people.
like it.
Peoples is peoples.
We're all just folk.
Unless you're an elf.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
I'm actually getting a headache from all the elf hate. I don't appreciate it.
Well, take that back to your Silmarillion cast.
We will.
Hey,
We don't really get that much in the section that we didn't already have, is that we saw, in the John chapters, basically.
I really
No.
don't like the whole stealing women thing.
No, but I mean, they choose to be stolen.
Really,
It's their choice. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's like,
I mean, if they didn't want to be stolen, they shouldn't have been in the room.
They shouldn't
Yeah,
have been dressing
exactly,
like
like-
that.
like if they don't want to be stolen, they need to have like strong brothers and fathers who can protect them.
Yeah, and no, also they basically kill the guy who steals them when they're sleeping if they don't like him. So
Yeah, so
essentially,
all you have to do if you don't like the guy is to become a murderer. It's not that bad.
well,
Well, if he
He's
didn't want to
racist.
get murdered, he shouldn't have
Yeah.
stolen.
exactly, he's a rapist. So
I mean, to be fair, he has to climb up a 700-foot wall, walk over it, climb down it, steal the girl, somehow bring her back up, and then
Yeah.
bring her back down.
Well, that's if they steal a
southerner,
which
yeah.
is even worse. They have no idea what's coming.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what they do.
apparently
They
that's
do
what they
kinda-
do.
know what's
Right?
coming.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose like most of the time it might be sort of just like a kind of like wedding ritual, like that they're sort of giving a half-hearted effort to sort of stop the guy, like it's like just a ceremony maybe.
Yeah, like they're like, so you're gonna steal me tonight, maybe, and then yeah.
Yeah, but maybe sometimes it's for real.
Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds better than actually stealing and raping people. And we do get we were told about when John and Ygritte were in the tunnels beneath the wall, and then we get a little more exposition about that was Gendel and Gorn were joint kings beyond the wall who tried to invade Westeros by going through the tunnels, and of course they were beaten back, and some of them never came out, so they think that they're living in the tunnels to this day, which I find creepy and disturbing. But
Especially when they have sex down there, like maybe some guys sitting in the darkness just watching.
Yeah, like some pale golem, like
Yeah.
oh.
Surfers having sex. Mm.
Well, isn't what's his name? Bloodraven watching everything all the time anyway. So
Yeah, but that's a
Oh,
given.
Yeah.
Only if you have sex and the gods would, I mean.
Yeah, or near ravens, or near cats.
Oh. Yeah, he's always watching.
Wait a minute, cat?
Yeah, apparently there's a cat that's supposed to be in
If
Kingsgrave.
Arya can work a cat, you figure Bloodraven probably can.
No, it's apparently the tomcat in
Yeah, Valerian, the
Valerian,
cat.
yeah, is apparently a agent of Bloodraven. If you
Yeah, it's
Oh,
every
no,
animal
yeah.
with one eye is
I thought
Blood
we were
Raven's
talking
troll.
about the north.
Yeah, I mean, there's a one-eyed horse that Val rides when. I don't understand what's going on. One-eyed horse.
he didn't say one-eyed snake, guys. What's so funny?
Yeah?
No, it's just it sounds,
Yeah.
it sounds
Are
so
you
Just
out
the
there.
idea that every one-eyed animal is necessarily Bloodraven.
Yeah, exactly. So Hardhome,
Yes.
can we go there?
Let's go to Hardhome.
Nice place this time of year.
I think it's the same weather all year round.
Hard.
Yes.
Yeah, I've not been able to come up with any sort of fanciful theories as to what the hell happened.
Well, they
Well, it's
kind of like go out of their way to say that these unworldly screams were heard. We're
Mhm.
supposed to think that it's others or White Walkers attacking them, but
Oh.
there's
I thought-
some dead things in the water up there also when Cotter Pike is up there sending his messages back. So we know there's something going on up there, but it's probably what's going on throughout the north, not just at Hardhome.
I always
Yeah.
thought it was volcano or volcanic activity. That's actually what I
Oh,
thought.
I never thought that. Something natural.
I actually
was-
thought maybe like a meteor or something.
Yes, something natural. I didn't think of the whites.
Could be either, could be neither. We don't know. Something went down, but it was rebuilt, and they're still populated, in the contemporary times.
Yeah, I always wanted to connect it to the Doom of Valeria
Yeah, exactly.
somehow.
Me too.
Yeah, but they say this was 600 years ago, which was way longer.
No, I know. But
I was just trying to look
Currently-
that up.
currently, like, dead things in the water, like, creepy.
Like, totally.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Matt. That is creepy.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm just saying, like, it looks like shit is going down there, and there are dead things in the water that they don't know how to kill them. I don't know. Like,
They're dead. How do you kill them?
Yeah,
How
and
do you
if
kill that which has no life? That is
Yeah.
the question.
And
I never
and
thought the dead things in the water was anything mysterious or anything. I just assumed it was whites because
Yeah.
they can walk around on the bottom. They don't need to breathe.
See, my only problem is how do you burn a wet white?
I hope there's a punchline there.
No, that's the punchlines essentially, or not really. It's just think about it. They're wet. You can't burn them. They're fucked. They're screwed.
But aren't they sort of supernaturally flammable? So they're not like normal corpses. Like they go up in flames if you just put a
How do
corpse
you know that?
Oh,
How do you-
torch
how
to
do you-
them. From the Fist of the First Man, I think they were sort of more flammable than normal. I don't know.
Yeah, but were the zombies wet?
I don't know.
Not soaked, at least. I don't think so.
does
Well,
that
it was
matter?
snowing, but I mean, I guess they wouldn't have any body heat to melt the snow.
No.
But they would still have sort of
It would make
water
sense that
on
they're
them.
drier because their bodily fluids have probably evaporated because they've been dead and stuff, and they go up in flames a little easier. It's science.
It's fucking
Science.
So yeah, 600 years ago. But when did Valeria burn?
400.
Yeah, because it was about 100 years before Aegon came over, right?
Yeah. I just
Maybe-
looked it up and ruined my theory.
Yeah, I heard a theory about it was like the Bravosi testing out their doomsday weapon on a remote village somewhere.
Yeah.
makes sense.
I don't even think the
No,
Bravosi
it
were around
doesn't.
at that point. Aren't the Bravosi only been around for a couple hundred years? They're
No.
Well, the settlement was there, but they didn't reveal themselves to the world at large.
Well, they were there before the Doom because they paid the Valyrians back for their ships.
Yeah, with the faceless man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's one of the theories I heard, that they just tested it out on Hardhome because they knew but nobody would miss them, and there's seismic
No.
for thermal activities.
So they're the Russians, and Hardhome is like Kazakhstan, and that's where they did all their testing
Yeah.
without telling the people. Okay.
Essentially.
No, I don't believe it.
We'll send
Okay.
Vice up there. They'll do an episode about it, and then we'll all learn about it and go, oh my god, and then not do anything about it.
That's so fucked up.
No.
I wonder it's on TV.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts on the North as a whole? Anyone? Where would you like to go? Where would you not like to go? Any
It's
particular?
big and cold and awesome.
I'm so pissed about ice.
Yeah, not mentioned once. That's a good catch. It's tough to catch things that aren't mentioned, so that's, I give you kudos for that.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
I would stay at Winterfell. I think the only place I would want to go, in the north.
I like White Harbor, just that it's a new, clean city. You got cool new architecture and ships everywhere. I just think the Manderleys are fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
throw a epic party.
Yeah.
What was that like the bar or the wine sink that Davos went to, like the stale eel or something like that?
Yeah, very creative.
All right. Anyone else? Last thoughts on the North?
It's big.
Yeah, it's big and cold and there's a lot of wood and like, a lot of
Okay,
fur,
so
a lot of
check.
beards. Like I think I would like to probably be a Mormon if I had to choose. Like they've got a pretty cool place and pretty cool words, and they've got a Valyrian steel sword. That'd be cool to have.
And they warg into bears, which are sort of what you like.
That's not proven as of yet, I don't think.
And they've got, pretty much equality for women. They've got women leading them, and they don't seem to be hung up about that, which I know you're all
Yeah.
about, Peter.
Yes, that was my main concern, of course.
I would like to be a Kranich person, I think.
Oh.
Yes. I feel like they're chill. Like if you don't you don't have to be super badass, but like if you are, that's cool. Because I'm not super badass.
You're just going there to get answers. You're not going to get any answers. Helen Reed is never going to see you.
Listen, I'll just stick around, whatever. A lot of people are there just hanging out.
Live on a fortified houseboat.
How do you feel about mosquitoes, though?
Yeah, and lizards.
It's the north. There's no mosquitoes.
It's a fucking bog.
marsh.
It's a swamp. There's I grew up in the northernmost part of Michigan. We got mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I'll deal with that when I come to it.
They'll carry you away.
Stay inside.
They probably got leeches too, like
That's only if
leeches
you
the
go in
size
the
of your
water.
arm. Well, if you're
Probably
living
never
in the
happens in a swamp.
you're probably never gonna go in the water. Yeah.
You're just going to Deliverance Country. That's where you're going, so have fun.
Depends. Yeah, well, leeches need to have a certain temperature of water. So I don't know if
They have
the
crocodiles, dude.
That is a good point. I didn't think about that.
Leeches are also a thing that we had in northern Michigan. They can somehow live through the winter.
Cool.
They're like vampires. They go into hibernation and live in their coffins and come up
You
and
learned
crawl.
so much tonight.
So anybody else have a house or anything they want to be part of? Northern house they want to be a part of?
I do like my peace and quiet, so the Boltons, a quiet land, a quiet rule.
Yeah, cool. Just get some nice perks as well, and like if you're into sort of leatherworking stuff, you must be.
And I am.
Handicrafts.
Yes, like Domeric Bolton, you're like really well read. All your books just happen to be bound in human skin.
They're all first editions, though.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think I would be if I wanted to, like, which house is coolest. I think one of the mountain clans would qualify. Some of the Littles or the Wolves.
Yeah, there's some of my favorite characters from the books when we get, to see them with Stannis and wanting to drink. What does the guy say? I want to bathe in Bolton blood before I die. Like that's that's pretty good.
They want about like autumn kisses you, but winter fucks you raw or something like that. This, but an autumn's kiss.
Yeah, they have pretty cool. I sort of feel like they're sort of like the Scotsmen of the Highlanders of the North. The Highlanders like Scotsmen. Kind of thing like that.
I'm sorry,
they're
but
more like the
Jamie Fraser is
Peruvians.
much prettier than any of those wolves. Outlander reference.
Well, like after the movie, there's actually been some real Highlanders in Scotland, in the Highlands, living there.
Well,
More
I
beings
thought they
that can
always
only be-
lived there.
No,
Do you mean
but
like
there's
Nessie?
just after the movie.
What about you, Alex? Where would you want to hang out?
I'd be in White Harbor, same as you. Strong economic base, strongly fortified.
No bears.
That's okay.
A plus.
Okay.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Thank you for sticking with us, both of you, both of our listeners, to this point. You're a trooper.